She told me she didn't want to be intimate anymore. No warning, no conversation, just a passing remark dropped in the middle of dinner, like she was commenting on the weather. There was no tenderness, no effort to explain, just a cold, detached sentence delivered between forkfuls of salad, and somehow that was supposed to be enough. What she didn't realize in that moment was that something inside me shifted. I didn't yell. I didn't plead. I didn't even ask why. I just looked at her, gave a slow nod, and made a quiet decision that would change everything. For both of us, we've been married 6 years. Not perfect years. What marriage is. But I thought we had a foundation built on mutual respect and shared effort. We worked, split the bills, managed the house together. We functioned like a team. Or at least I thought we did. But things had been changing. I'd noticed it long before that dinner. The emotional gap widened gradually. Less affection, fewer conversations. Her smile didn't reach her eyes anymore. Hugs became half-hearted. Kisses rare. She blamed work, said she was tired, needed time to herself. I tried to be supportive. I gave her space. I stopped pressing for closeness, thinking maybe I was part of the problem. I tried to be better. For her, for us. I listened more, took on extra chores, focused on making life easier, hoping she'd meet me halfway. But instead of drawing us closer, it felt like I was slowly disappearing. And still I held on, until that night at dinner, when she said those words. It wasn't just what she said, it was how. Emotionless, indifferent, not an invitation to talk, not a plea for understanding, just a statement, as if she was saying, "You'll accept this because you have no choice." But she was wrong. I did have a choice. That night, I stopped trying. I stopped initiating conversations, affection, connection. I didn't get angry. I didn't retreat in bitterness. I simply began to detach. With intention, I became courteous, calm, present, but distant, just like her. I started going to the gym more, took longer walks, stayed at work later. I stopped sharing pieces of my day, stopped asking about hers. I faded, slowly but surely, until I was just a figure in the background of our marriage. She didn't notice right away. But a few weeks in, she finally looked up and asked, "You've been quiet lately." I smiled and said I was fine. But I wasn't. I was done, not with cruelty, but with clarity, because I finally understood what she really thought of us. She believed that marriage was a guarantee, that I'd stay no matter how cold she became, how much she pulled away, that I'd keep showing up, even as she offered me less and less. She mistook my patience for weakness. But it wasn't weakness. It was hope. 2 months later, I had everything in place. A new apartment, a lawyer, the funds I had a legal right to set aside. I waited until she was away visiting her sister. Packed quietly. No argument. No explanation. Just a note on the kitchen counter. Asterisk, you were right. You don't owe me intimacy. And I don't owe you my presence. All the best. Asterisk. That was it. I didn't block her. Didn't erase her, but I never looked back. She called the next day, over and over, at first confused, then angry, then scared. The last message nearly broke me. I didn't think you'd actually leave, and that's what hurt most. Not that she stopped wanting me, but that she never believed I'd choose myself. She thought love made me blind, but it didn't. It made me stay longer than I should have. It made me hope. But it also taught me when to let go. In that small apartment, I finally exhaled. I hadn't even realized I'd been holding my breath. I started therapy, began healing, learning that when someone withholds affection, it can be its own kind of control, subtle, polite, but corrosive. She messaged a few more times. Long, emotional paragraphs. Apologies. Requests to talk. But I didn't answer. I had already said everything I needed to say when I walked out the door. Sometimes the loudest thing you can do is leave without a word. And sometimes when someone tells you what they don't need, they're also showing you exactly what you don't need either.